Hey, how are ya? I have a question. Do you like to fail? You know, we fail every single day, several times a day. I'm Virginia Wright with Grow to Profit, where you learn to get rid of whatever is holding you back in life or business. It's holding you back from profit. I recently did a video on the 10 habits of highly successful people. I listed failing as number 10, when in reality, it's something you want to do a lot. Failing a lot simply means success is inevitable. You only fail at something you do the first time once. The second time and thereafter, I call it sail, because all you're doing is adjusting and tweaking and changing a little thing here and a little thing there. Very similar to sailing, adjusting to the wind and the direction you want to go. And I was over here thinking about my thoughts. I'm in the process of hemming, and I am repurposing a pair of cargo pants into a pair of cargo shorts. I'm converting. When I started thinking about my thoughts and what I was doing, and I was using marketing terms, I said, Virginia, it's time to do a video and share a few insights. And I realized that I spent a lot of time failing last week. Stop and think about it. I said we do this every day, all the time. And I'm not just talking about online. I'm talking about in life. Let's look at a couple of movies. Karate Kid, did you see that? How many times was there a wipe on and a wipe off? How many times do you think Mr. Miyagi practiced catching that fly? Or Rocky, it's my favorite series. How many times did he get knocked down and he got up again? There are so many movies out there showing. Another one I like is Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness. Oh my goodness. Happiness is within us. You'll find it through gratitude. If you haven't seen that movie, watch it. That guy goes through a lot for success, wanting to make a better life for himself and his son. It's a fabulous movie. And, you know, it's kind of what life is all about. I started thinking about one of the kid stories I grew up with, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. And I'm a lot like that little baby bear. And I think you are too. If you are a mom, think back to when you brought home that first baby, if you have more than one. I do. I've got 3. And you needed to heat up the formula. Do you remember testing it on your wrist to make sure it wasn't cold, it wasn't hot, that it was just right? How about, now back when I had kids, there was no internet, but even if there were YouTube videos about these subjects, until you do the thing, you don't learn. And you definitely mess up. I remember when my first daughter was born, learning how to change her diaper. You don't want it too loose, and you don't want it too tight. I can remember putting my fingers between her little belly and the front of the diaper to make sure it wasn't too tight. And you don't want it too loose because sometimes you have more of a mess to clean up, right? I mean, really, let's be real here. So you learn after several attempts to diaper your baby just right. We've all heard the stories about learning how to ride a bike. You fall off several times. Babies, when they're learning how to walk, they fall down, they keep getting up. Well, you know, working online, marketing online is very similar. Right now, I'm in a 30-day YouTube challenge. Every day, I learned something new. And the internet is always changing. You have to be ready to change. I failed a lot last week. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces when you're doing YouTube videos. And hats off to those with a lot of subscribers, because they've learned the moving pieces. They have adjusted accordingly. When I was first learning how to do videos, just videos, not YouTube, learning how to do lives, and they talk about lighting the background because you don't want them to be too messy, and they talk about audio. Audio is really important. You could have a blurry picture, because your camera's not so, but if they can't hear you, it's really bad and you'll lose them right away. I've been playing with lighting because I wear glasses and I have a dickens of a time with a glare. And I watched a video yesterday and I asked her, I said, "Hey, Ace, how do you do them where people can see your eyes?" She was talking about how to set up the lights. I did a video and I learned that it's not just the lighting, it's not just the backdrop. And one thing, ladies, it was brought to my attention. If you have a tank top and long hair, it looks like you're naked. So, and I did a video like that. You learn, that's a heads up. So, viewing time helps with YouTube ranking. But I don't want people staying on my video really because they think there's going to be something extra. No, that is not why I want a longer viewing time. I want to be able to give value. I want people to learn. I want to be entertaining, but not like that. Okay? So when you're doing YouTube, and I'm sure other platforms are very similar in how you get them to like you to where they show your stuff. If you want YouTube to like you, first you have to have good content to keep the people there. But how do you get them there in the first place? YouTube is what they call a search engine, just like Google. People are looking for information, and YouTube is especially helpful for how-to videos. People are just looking for information, how to get leads, how to make videos. The first thing is to learn about keywords and what are people looking for, because that's the title. The title is what's going to bring your video up. You want it to be something that people are looking for. What's the next thing? It's that little picture. It's called a thumbnail. Doesn't look anything like a thumbnail, but it's a picture and it's called a thumbnail because I guess it's little. So you want that to be informative, draw people's attention. Intros and outros. Right after I learned how to do an intro and got it in 2 of my videos. Leah came on as a trainer, Leah Ray Getz. If you don't know her, she is definitely a great mentor. And she came on last week. Keep in mind, I just put my intro on 2 videos after I figured out how to put one together. And she was sharing some of her insights, which, just in case you don't know, insights are lessons learned from failure. So you don't ever fail. Ever. It's what you learn, what you can share and teach others and save them time and frustration. She came on with some insights and talked about analytics. And I said, analytics, oh my God, analytics, what is that? And then she goes right into, I was looking at my analytics, showed us where to find them and all that good stuff. Thank you. Her intro showed where people were dropping off the video. And the explanation for that is, you don't want your intro to be longer than, 9-10 seconds max. But even that, because the attention span of people is so short, it takes away from getting to the meat and potatoes, what you want to teach or share. You need that lower third, that thing that comes up in the bottom, and I'm like, oh, really? It took me 2 hours to do a tiny little thing that's on the screen, figuring out how to make it not green. That was another thing I had to learn, so that way I showed through and could keep talking. So even though your information comes up as you introduce yourself or whatever, you can keep going with the meat and potatoes. And you go through and you talk and you share. There are other things besides your content that you want. And And don't use an intro if you don't have to. It takes away from the meat and potato time. Keep in mind, attention span. You want to ask your question right in the beginning. Introduce yourself and then get right into answering that question. Oh, by the way, if you're enjoying my video, make sure you subscribe. That is a call to action. You need to make sure that's in your video as well. You see the questions come across the top of your screen, and I started putting them in. I like to do questions. They're called polls. You can also list your website up in there. And then we get to the end card. And the end card is where you could ask them to subscribe, forward people to another video. And once you have enough videos on your channel, or you know of someone who you could direct it to, because also what helps your ranking is how long you keep viewers, how long you keep them on your channel. That also helps to rank you up. YouTube is happy. In the beginning, when you are branding yourself, you want to make YouTube happy. Keep doing your videos, keep sharing content that your people, your followers, your tribe are looking for. Make sure you appear dressed. I hope you learned something. So get out there and fail a lot. Let me know about your failures in the comments. Share with others the feeling. It's a tremendous feeling of success once you accomplish what you set out to do. Take care. God bless. I had fun with this one, and I'll see you again soon.